Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. A few days ago, I'd say a week or two ago, I was watching a TikTok video, and I love TikTok. I mean, I'm not gonna be honest with you. I love TikTok. I mean, I'm on TikTok almost as much time as I am on YouTube. Not doing my videos, but just watching YouTube movies and so forth. And I was watching this TikTok video, and some of you probably know this guy. So this is a black guy. He walks around, younger black guy. He walks around, and I guess this is new, really. Honestly, he's different from the other guy that walks around and asks girls to date him. But this guy, he walks around and he asks this group of girls. He says, "Do you like black people?" And clearly, most of them were white. I think it might have been one or two that were dark skinned. I don't think they were black girls. I think they were like maybe Hispanic or something like that. But he walked up to her. He's like, "Do you like black people?" And I thought I thought they were going to actually respond by saying, "Yes, we like black people," because they wouldn't have, of course, wouldn't want to be deemed racist, right? By not liking black people. The girl, without hesitation, one of the girls, I think she was a white girl in the middle, without hesitation said, "No, I don't." And they just kept walking. So the young man was like, "Okay, that's it, people, time to get rejected." I think he said from New York or something like that. Time to get, he's like, "This is time to get rejected," whatever. So he was walking away, and he was like, whispered, he was like, "She's a jerk," or "She's a something like that." And then I was reading in the comment section. I read one comment was like, "Oh man, she's this, she's that." Ooh, okay. In other words, everybody seemingly was upset because this white girl said she don't like black people when he asked that, and they kept walking. And I said I wanted to talk about that because it's funny how, and I talk about this quite often because black people, we're in America. Black Americans, a lot of us, man, we're a trip. We are a trip. We just feel the need, and I'm not putting us down. I'm not putting black people down, but it's just that I'm trying to elevate the minds of black people in America. I'm trying to elevate the minds of black people because black people in Africa, black Africans don't have that same kind of mindset. I've never seen that same kind of mindset with them. They never seem to give this attitude that they need the love and respect of white people. They don't seem to have that attitude. I'm not saying that there aren't any black Africans that have that mentality, but I have never seen any. I have never met any. They all seem to have a strong inner self-worth. They're proud to be Africans, and even though they may have been, some of their countries may have been colonized by Europeans, or they may have adopted a lot of Western concepts and Western belief systems, they're not walking around bitter for the most part that I know of, okay? Except those that have been brainwashed by communists that have infiltrated their countries, and Marxists, of course. But they're not walking around with this bitter attitude towards white people, okay? They're not mad at white people. As a matter of fact, Aries Spears, that's his name. I think his name's Aries Spears, that comedian. And during one of his comedy sketches, he said, "Africans hate black folks, black Americans." He said, "Africans hate black Americans." He said, "I can stand you, you lazy MF." But he said, when white people are, he says, "I love you, white men." He, the white man, something like that. He's cracking me up. But he said, black Africans love white people. They just can't stand black Americans, okay? But that's what he was saying about their attitude, black Africans' attitudes towards black Americans, for the most part, not all the time, is disdain, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into the detail of that here, but I suspect part of the reason for it is because a lot of black Americans' attitudes, the cultures they embrace, why is it? Why is it that black Africans don't have this bitter attitude towards Europeans and whites in general, and we do here in America? Now we could, all right, well, because our people was enslaved. Wait a minute, Dumbo. The people that was enslaved came from West, for the most part, came from West Africa. The blackest of the black. What are you talking about? Okay, let's not even talk about, well, our people was enslaved. Let me calm down, because some black people say really, really silly stuff. Black Americans say some silly stuff. Okay, they're from Africa. These black Africans, many of them do not like black Americans. Now the question is why? Is it because they've been brainwashed by Europeans that hate black Americans? No. I believe part of the reason for that is because of our attitude. Our attitude, our approach, which we've been brainwashed by politicians and the school systems to think this way, are detrimental. We feel a need to be loved by everybody, especially white people. And if they don't love us, if they don't like us, then we are less than, and they are racist. Now you get where I'm going with this. That white girl responded by saying, and the video was a joke. The TikTok video was a joke, whatever. It was kind of a joke. But, some people not going to take it as a joke. They go, oh, she's racist. No, I don't believe that's the case. Here's the reason why I say that. Before anybody get butthurt, here's the reason why I say that. Liking someone and disliking someone is not equal to loving and hating someone. There are a lot of people that I don't like. There were people in my church who were my Christian brothers and Christian sisters then and now that I don't like. Didn't like and don't like. I love them because love has to do with action. Love has to do seeing good, doing good to other people and seeing them grow. That's love. That's biblical love. And I base that love off the Bible. Okay. Liking has to do with how you feel about someone, their approach or whatever. A person's personality can stink. Do you have to like that person? When you say you don't like someone, does it mean you hate them because they're black? You hate them because they're white? You hate them because they're Hispanic? No, it means you do not like them. There's certain things about that person's personality, their approach that you don't like. Liking someone is mostly emotional. It's how you feel about someone. It's not about hating them. It's about how you feel about someone. And that feeling is based on their character traits that you might not like, the approach to life that you might not like. That's what that's about. What I gathered from this young girl when she said no, she don't like black people was probably because of what she sees a lot of black people doing. Thugging, in theme parks fighting, causing chaos everywhere they go. Y'all know, look, man, I'm telling the truth. Bowling, you hating, man. No, I'm not. I'm not hating, but I am hating. So wait a minute, Bowling. No, I'm not hating black people in America in general, but I am hating in terms of actions. There are actions of certain black Americans. Constantly thugging, doing stupid stuff, fighting in restaurants. You know what I'm talking about. Everywhere you turn, you see black people doing things, black Americans doing things that they shouldn't be doing and making everybody else who has decency and honesty and some morals and values look bad. So as a result, you can say I'm hating. But in reality, I'm just disliking. Let me put it to you like this. I'm disliking, okay? And it's the same thing with the young girl. She said, no, I don't like black people. I understood exactly what she was saying. I understood exactly what she was saying when she said it. And it's silly that the boy really, honestly, even though it was a joke, would ask that question, do you like black people? Just walk up to her and say, do you like black people? Here's another question I have to ask about that. Why should anyone like us? I mean, what does that make me? Does that make me a person? If someone else likes me, I would be happy. That's cool. I like that you like me. Okay, that's good. But what if they don't like me? Because there are some people that don't like me. Why? I don't know. I mean, because I'm a very easygoing person. I have a very easygoing personality without compromising my own personality. I have a very easygoing personality. So them not liking me is they just satanic for the most part. I'll be honest with you. But the question would be why? You don't like me, okay? Well, why? Is it because I'm mean? I'm hateful? What, you see what I'm saying? If they don't like me, is that going to change who I am? Is it going to make me less than? Do I need other people to like me? The only person that I need is God. That's the only person I need. Now, if God walks away from me, which the Bible says he never will, me being one of his sons, he never will. He will never leave me, neither would he forsake me. I have been adopted into his royal family, not because of me, but because of his grace, because of God's grace and mercy. See, God goes beyond liking you. See, God ain't into all his liking. But I ain't going to preach, I'm not going to preach about that here, but you get my point. God isn't about liking you or any of that. He's about salvation and loving people in spite of how jacked up all of us are. It doesn't matter what ethnic group we're from. We all jacked up in sin, okay? But God loves us. And if he don't like how we may be acting, he loves us, and he proved that love by sacrificing the best he had, his only unique son, Jesus Christ. But anyway, that's another story, and I digress. You get my point. My point is that young lady saying that she doesn't like black people, I understood exactly why she was saying that. More than likely, it was not a racist. Now, I know somebody going to get in the comment section and say, oh, she racist. Oh, man, how can you not see this? Okay, let's just, I'm going to switch it around. Let's just say, for instance, she is racist. Let's just say, for instance, that girl was racist when he asked her that. Since people going to get butthurt anyway. Let's just assume that she was racist when that young man asked her, do you like black people? Let's assume she was racist. Okay, what's that to me? What's it to you? She racist. You're going to have racist people in this country and in any country, because black people can be racist too. I don't hear about all this bull crap where black people that can't be racist because they don't have the money to be racist. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Dr. Umar, whatever his name is, I don't know what kind of doctor he is. To me, he's nothing more than a separatist, racist separatist himself. I believe he's racist. Okay, he says we can't be racist, but he's racist himself. That's the stupidest thing in the world, to say that black people or people of color can't be racist because they don't have the money to be racist. They don't have the structure, the power. I find that concept interesting because there are a lot of black people, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, and others who are very, very rich. Are you saying that it's not possible for them to be racist? Is that what, because people don't have money to be racist, they can't be? And people that have money, because if that's true, that would mean that people that have money, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, and other blacks who have real money, okay, you mean to tell me that there's that possibility for them to be racist? I mean, come on now. Isn't it possible for them to be racist now that they have all this money? And how do we know that they're not racist? How do we know that they don't discriminate against white people? How do we know that they don't think in their mind that white people are less than them? You have black militant religious groups that hate white people. Literally hate them. That's not racist? See, a lot of stuff people say is just, in my opinion, is just foolish. The point is this. If she was racist, if she truly was racist, let's cover that. What's it to me? What's it to the person? So what? Is that going to change what you're trying to do in your life? Is that going to, if you got goals, you have a vision for your life, and you have goals, and you're trying to do things with yourself, you're trying to do things with your life, is this young girl who says, no, she don't like black people because she's racist, Is that going to change your vision? Is that going to change the goals you set for yourself? If you have any goals, if you have any vision? Oh, maybe not then. Maybe you know what? Maybe it would change, because if you don't have a vision for your life, if you don't have any goals, if you don't have any values, if you don't have any morals, if you don't have any standards, then yes, it would be a problem, because now your self-worth, your self-value, your motivation is based on some other person liking you or disliking you. That's basic. Okay, so that person, it would mean something. But someone who has a vision for their life, someone who has goals and plans, and they're trying to do something in their life, trying to do something with themselves, regardless of their skin color, it don't make a pot of rotten chitlins what that girl, that white girl, or any other white person thinks about them. They could be stone cold, country born, redneck racists, and it's not going to change anything about their self-value and self-worth and what they're trying to do. You get my point? I'm hoping somebody get my point here. For those that may be a little offended by what I'm saying. Give you an example. Let's move this thing on, man. I've said this quite often. I'll repeat it here. Black folk, before the punk 1960s civil rights crap, okay, that screwed us. But that's another story, and I digress. That screwed us. Before the 1960s civil rights movement, black folks, particularly in the South, had it going on. Was there segregation? Yes, there was segregation. But that segregation did not cause black folk in the South to feel inferior, to feel less than, because if it did, they wouldn't have a black Wall Street. You wouldn't have all these black entrepreneurs. You wouldn't have all these black manufacturers. You had one particular black guy say it was had a manufacturing company of cars or something like that. I mean, you wouldn't have all of that. You wouldn't have had all of that. Black folk back then had values, they had purpose, they had direction, and they believed in God. And they were church-going folks. So many of their ethnical views of right and wrong came from a biblical perspective. And I know people don't like that, but it's the truth. But they didn't hate themselves because white folks segregated them and they were separated from white people. Okay, whatever. We're going to do what we want. We're going to still have a vision for our lives and still set goals for our lives. We're not going to allow another group of people to say we're no one, we're inferior then. We're not going to do that. We're going to build our own bank. We're going to build our own companies. We're going to build our own businesses. We're going to become our own entrepreneurs and millionaires. And some of them were millionaires in the South at this time, before the 60s. Really? That's what I'm talking about. It's the same principle today. Doesn't matter if some white person, this white girl was, let's assume she was truly racist when she said, I don't like black people. What difference does it make? If you have a vision for your life and you have passion and you have goals and you're reading and you're studying and you're developing yourself, what difference does it make whether or not that white girl or any other white person likes you or dislikes you or hates you to your stinking guts? What difference does it make? You're going to allow these people to control your destiny? I don't know why that goes over people's heads when I tell them that. I push that kind of stuff because it's so utterly important. But unfortunately, many black Americans have left that behind. They've left it behind. They're too busy thugging and clubbing to see it. They're too busy being ratchet to see it. I'm just saying, man, I wanted to talk about that, and I'm going to be talking about stuff like that, and I may lose more subscribers. I'm fine with that because at the end of the day, many of these people that's doing it, they know I'm telling them the truth. They know I'm telling them the truth. It's time for us to rise up. Okay, the white girl, she said she didn't like you. Okay, she didn't like you. I don't like some black people. Just like they don't like me, I don't like some black people. Not because they're black, but because of their attitude, their approach, the culture they embrace. It's the same with every ethnic group. Let me say this to start summing it up so people don't misunderstand. In every nationality and ethnic group, there are good and bad people. That's human nature. In every ethnic group or nationality, there are good and bad people. The bad people obviously are going to be the ones that you don't like. I have experienced bad people in the Hispanic community, white community, and the Indian community, and Indian community. and even the Arab community. These are all different ethnic groups in America. I've experienced bad from them, and guess what? I've experienced good. We all are equalized here as human beings made in the image of God. We're all equalized here, good and bad. Liking and disliking different individuals within these subgroups is simply that, liking and disliking. If they're a jerk, obviously I'm going to dislike them regardless of their ethnic group. Regardless of what ethnic group they come from. If they're a jerk, don't have no character, don't have no morals, don't have no values, don't have no standards, they just jerks, then of course I'm not. Me not liking them is simply because of who they are, their character. That's why. It isn't because of their racial group. I hate to use the term race. There's only one human race, okay? It isn't because of their color or their shade or any of that. It isn't because of any of that nonsense. You get my point. So anyway, yeah, man, I didn't mean for this video to go this long. I really didn't, because this is something deep in my heart, and it's something that it really needs to be pressed. It really needs to be addressed among Black Americans in particular, because we are going down the hill, man. We keep letting everybody else define us. We keep wanting other people to like us, especially white folks. It's really the white folks. We just want them to, oh God, if they love me, I'll be somebody. Woo! We're a trip, man. We're a trip. But anyway, what do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.